If people say that 100K, 150K income is barely enough in HCOL areas like NYC, LA, etc., then why do those cities have places like McDonald's and Walmart? What happens to the employees? Do they make six figures? Those people either live with parents or in shitbox apartments with tons of roommates. Like, you don't need to make 100K to live in New York, but you probably do need to have a quality, independent life. Actually, NYC does not have Walmart. Sorry for the nitpick, but I thought it was worth mentioning. What happens to the employees? Do they make six figures? Fuck no lol. As someone who used to work retail, a manager can make six figures depending on the restaurant. District managers actually make pretty good money, even by HCOL standards. Lower positions like cashier, sales associate, stock shelver, etc. are making minimum wage 15 an hour. First in line supervisor positions like key holders make over minimum wage, but nothing crazy significant. With those positions, you either have a lot of roommates, a second job, or live with your parents. Assistant store managers make more, but they still don't really make good money. Keep in mind this all depends on the business. Pay structures differ. TLDR, managers can make six figures in HCOL. When people say you need 150K to survive, they really mean having a fancy 1-2BR apartment in downtown for yourself, going to bars, restaurants, and shows every weekend, Ubering everywhere, going on frequent vacations, etc. NYC is expensive, yes, but the median individual income there is 35K and median family income is 67K, which means half the people make less than that. They are all not living it up, but still making do just fine. They do pay more. Min wage in NYC is 16, I think. The employees also don't live in the highest cost areas, they live in the lower cost areas, often with family or roommates. They also don't do the things that someone making 150K needs to do, like have work clothes, network with people at events, restaurants, yada. Also, you can look at someone making 150K in SF and say you'd save money if you lived in a bad neighborhood, with a roommate, sent your kid to public school there, etc. But people feel something like school is part of why they live in a better neighborhood or got the schooling and better job themselves. They live outside the area and commute in. They live with family or multiple roommates. They are homeless and live in cars, campers, tent cities, etc. People grossly exaggerate. As someone who has worked minimum and at times sub-minimum wage in NYC and San Francisco, and also worked making six figures in the rough same time period, you can absolutely live, and well, in HCOL areas on the relatively high minimum wages. There are a lot of medical options in those particular areas. The only, but major, hurdle is housing. If you like living with people and are open to creative living situations, it's a very surmountable problem. Meanwhile, making six figures is a huge difference in comfort. But if you decide to get your own place, you can quickly blow all that money. Basically, housing is expensive. And you can easily have a whole person's paycheck dedicated to it or saved depending on lifestyle and what you choose in that domain. Those articles usually mean barely enough for a 4-year degree holder to afford an up-to-code 1-bedroom apartment with no roommates and with a commute less than 30 minutes. There are lots of people who make do with a lot less, but they are not the types who usually read CNBCWSJ Forbesec. You can survive on any income anywhere by lowering your standards. You need 150K income to live reasonably well in NYC. The bar is not literally starving to death. They commute in from 200 miles away, low cost of living area every day. Have you seen Highway 101 in the Bay Area? They commute from outer boroughs, have rent stabilized or voucher housing, or live in multi-generational homes. They might also have 2 jobs or do gig work like Uber DoorDash. If they have children, they likely qualify for subsidies for reduced subway fare, SNAP food stamps, childcare, etc. Take this further, cops, firemen, transit workers, and EMTs certainly don't make 100K a year unless you're a captain, chief, etc. Granted, their benefits are usually nice. My friend owns a gas station in LA Santa Monica, specifically, which is a more expensive area, and pays his employees around 19 HR. I asked him this question once: how do they afford to even live anywhere near the gas station? His response was that most of them had 3 roommates. People who say this are rich and can't imagine not living the extravagant, privileged, entitled lifestyle they have. You can do fine on 60K in these sites if you don't demand a luxurious lifestyle. I know most retail and restaurant workers don't make this much, but 6 figures isn't necessary to get by in these cities. The employees will live 5-7 people in a small 1BR apartment. I had a friend who did that, and when her shift started getting cut short, she quit and got a different job, because it would have literally cost her more money to ride the subway into the city than she'd make during her short shift. The employees do what responsible people do: use their money wisely and live at home or with roommates. I know places like Vale have employee housing, thus our slip into feudalism. They are mousetraps to suck away the best years of your life, and one day you wake up 35 as the manager of the summer job you started after high school. They are all over the country. You can live, just not thriving, live with family or many roommates in the not-so-nice areas. Like you wouldn't be able to buy a house. Also many commute to their jobs. People post that 100K is barely enough in order to generate clicks responses controversy. The claim is not true, but truth isn't what they are after. No. They share tiny spaces and commute an hour or more each way. It's revolting.